guys, thanks for tuning in. This is OPTIBOTIMUS coming at you with a very special video review. And today, thanks to the folks at Big Bad Toy Store, we'll be taking a look at a color test sample of the Bullsfire DB-01 Airstrike, which as you can tell is an homage to G1 Swoop in a masterpiece scale. Now as I said, this is a color test shot, so it's basically final, but there will be some minor things changed to it for the official release. What those changes are, I'm not 100% sure. This is just to give you an idea of what basically you'll be getting. But as you can see, very nice size. It really does fit in that masterpiece scale, and has a pretty decent likeness to Swoop here in his Pteranodon mode. It is really cool looking though. It does sort of deviate from that, I guess, Pteranodon look that we are kind of used to seeing Swoop in the fact that his arms are not on the side. I mean, you can still clearly see where his arms are, but a lot more people are used to him kind of sticking on the side here. So for me, the chest here, this whole section is a little bit different than what I would, I guess, like a little bit more, but it still is a nice look nonetheless. It's a more updated look for him, and I think it looks pretty decent. As you can see, this guy has a lot of chrome, and his wings, when you extend them, do look really very impressive. I love how there's some actual paint detail right on here that really stands out and looks very sharp, but very, very big. You can put his head all the way back like so. You could take his legs here. You can straighten these out. You can kind of angle these if you want to, and you can have him flying. I mean, and again, that is a very cool Swoop look. It does look nice. I do like the way that these legs are. They are a little bit different than what I probably would be used to having, that being these little legs right here. And you can see that they actually have the legs. They're just not really functional in his actual Dino mode. But they're there, and they do look nice in the actual robot mode. But these legs, I think, are really nice because they're very nicely articulated. So you can get kind of them hanging out here in the back, and it gives a little bit more of a realistic look, I guess, with those legs kind of positioned that way. So if you're flying them around, it looks good. You can angle these where you're getting him sitting on his butt. That's the only real way to get him to stand. I mean, you can extend these, but you don't really get him standing all that well. I mean, I guess you can. It just depends on how you position his claws here. So getting those there, and you gotta be a little bit careful with it, but you can do it, as you can see. But it doesn't give a very sturdy grip to him. I mean, even if you wanted to flatten them out like so and put them down, these are a little bit looser. I'm not 100% sure if that's just like I said, the nature of this being a test sample or not, but those are a little bit looser, so he falls back. So you kind of have to keep these on that little hook sort of angle, and it's not an easy task to do, just put it that way. You can get them sitting up though, like you could see at the beginning. You just have to put them like so, and then maybe angle these out a little bit to get them to sit kind of straight. But you can do it, so it does work. You do have his missiles on here. These are removable, so if you didn't want to have those, but I love the way that these look. They do have a very nice G1 kind of look and feel to them. These really do look like they're launchers. They don't remove or anything like that, but I love the fact that they included that. It just kind of carries on with that look, and then you can see that you can actually fold these out, and they, in robot mode, can become guns. So I'm going to set these off to the side. But again, really nice chrome detail on here with the, you got some red paint right on here. You got some blue for the wires painted on there. He does have these little guns right here that do rotate. He also does have these claws, which really kind of surprised me. These can remove. They just pop out if you just wanted to have the little guns there. I think that's a wonderful touch as well. I think that's a nice little add-on. It's just personal preference what you want to have for how he looks. I mean, it's great that there's options for it. The articulation, though, you can see that those rotate. The wings can move in and out like so. When you pull them out, though, they get a little weird looking. They do rotate at a hinge right up here, so you can get that. They do flop, or flap, I guess you could say flap, like this. So it's designed that you can make some really cool flying poses with it. I mean, I really do dig it. This is a little bit loose. Hopefully that is not indicative of all the final ones, but I would anticipate that would get tightened and be perfectly fine in the final release. And then you have a joint up here that allows you to fold these all the way back. One thing that I wish you could have bent it a little bit more forward. That's as far as you can bend it, but you can bring it all the way back just like so. Just because when I have him standing here, I kind of like, I guess you could go like this with it. So I guess you don't necessarily need to have that hinge all the way in, because you do have that extra hinge at the actual base here. So that works okay. So it's again just a little thing that I'm noticing. For his head, it only rotates up and down. It doesn't look left or right or anything like that, but the mouth does open, and you can see some really nice detail on here where it actually looks like he's kind of got a gun built in there. So you do have that, and then you got nice serrated edges right here, so you got teeth and everything. You got some nice blue paint for his eyes. The legs, like I showed you, they rotate here at the hip. They also bend here at the knee. They rotate at this section here at the upper part of the thigh, and some really nice chrome down here as well, where you can see some actual silver chrome and then gold chrome. I don't know, yeah, that kind of comes across. You got gold on the circle part up here, and then the lower part right here, it's a little bit different. You can see that this is die cast. There is some die cast throughout this. These are die cast. I do want to say that there's some die cast in his legs. I think more on the inside though, just to kind of weight it. And then the feet themselves for robot mode are also die cast. So there is some die cast in here, which is very nice, but you can see that the die cast for the actual claw down here is painted, whereas this gold chrome up here is just painted in that as well, but it gives it a slightly different tone. Again, I don't know if that's something that's going to be fixed in the actual released version or what, but either way, it's not bad. I do like the fact that they included the chrome there on the foot as well, and painted the feet a nice gold color to really bring that out. Now, he also does come with another weapon. He comes with the sword, which is a very Grimlock sort of looking sword. This is all just the silver chrome. You got the red chrome down here. You can bring it around here and store it in his back area. Just kind of tuck it right up underneath there, but then it looks like he's pooping out a chrome piece, which I don't know why you would want to put that in there. And to be totally honest, I don't even know if you're supposed to. It's just looking for places where you can stick that. That's the only place where I can think to stick it. I unfortunately didn't get any instructions with this, because as I said, this is just the test sample. So I don't necessarily get all the same perks that the final version comes with. But all in all, I think it is a nice looking piece. Some people have complained about it and compared this to other ones. I don't think it's really fair to compare it to the other ones yet, especially since we haven't gotten them, and they are designed to look different. I do get this piece right here. It kind of throws me off his chest. I kind of wish that it did have a little bit more of that G1 sort of look, and that the chest collapse in and then the arms stick out a little bit more. But all in all though, I think it's a very nice representation of Swoop, and instantly you're gonna think that. And the build quality on here is very nice. All the chrome feels very sturdy. The plastic feels very high quality. I mean, this is a wonderfully done piece. And if this is the way that you're going for your masterpiece Swoop-ish figure, I don't think that there's really much wrong with it. So, all right guys, so here you have Airstrike with the Hasbro Masterpiece Grimlock and the Fans Toy Masterpiece Scoria. Now granted, these are three totally different companies, but I do believe that most collectors are going to display Airstrike with any sort of combination of these two figures. And I don't think it looks really all that bad. It's probably a little bit bigger, just like a smidge more than I would probably like, but I think it works pretty nice. I mean, Swoop always was the smallest of the Dinobots, and that's just based on the nature of the type of dinosaur that he is. Pterodon is a much smaller dinosaur than a Triceratops or a T-Rex, so it just makes sense. So the scale is pretty decent. I just feel maybe it could get scaled down a smidge more, just for my own personal tastes. Now, the transformation for the guy is actually really fairly simple, and if you have Masterpiece 11 Starscream or any variation of that mold, you're probably going to have a pretty easy time transforming this guy. First, what you want to do, just get these wings. We're just going to angle these kind of back, just like so. These legs, bring these down, kind of angle these bits out, get that out of the way, and then you can take this section and you can loosen this. You don't have to move it up just yet, but I like loosening it. It just makes it a little bit easier for me. Just angling these. Then these wings, or these arms here, these bits right here, pull out just like so. You can take these little sections right here along the top. You can angle these up just like that. Do that on both sides. Just rotate that up just like so. Bring these arms out and you have his arms. Then take this section here. You're going to rotate this out, and you actually got a little bit of an abdomen section here on the side. You kind of fold that in just like that. So you're bringing that down, fold that in, and you're going to have it rest down just like so. So again, if you're familiar with Starscream, this is a very similar transformation. Get these arms out, bring this down, bring this down as well, then rotate these bits around like so. You're going to bring out little tiny nubs. It's kind of hard to see. On the inside here, there are little nubs now. When you have it like this, when you bring it down, they're going to peg into the side here of his actual head. So leave it like that, and then take these legs, kind of get these out of the way. You want to lift this back section first, so just angle it back and then you can slide it. They actually tab in at the upper part here, so unless you pull it away down here first, it's going to stay locked in. So again, pull this back, then that'll loosen this up, and then you can rotate this around just like so, and then bring these legs all the way around like so. Rotate these down, then you can swivel these back. Now this part here is where I honestly I don't like this. I don't like the inclusion of it. I think it looks great in the dinosaur mode, but in robot mode here I just don't think it looks very good. So I'm just going to straighten that out for right now. Then bring these feet out, they swivel out, and then you bring that down. Again, take this section, pull this out, rotate that forward, fold out the little heel section, and again, like I said, these feet here in robot mode are actually die cast, which are very nicely done. I'm very happy with it. Very, very cool. Rotate these arms down, just getting these out of the way. And then this whole section here, well, come around here to the back, these little bits, fold those up. Do that on that side as well. And this whole section will collapse down. Make sure you push that all the way, just like so. And then you can bring these in and lock these along the side once you get it lined up. Otherwise it doesn't stay locked in. You can take the head and pull this back, but this is a little bit harder to see, so it's hard to line up. It's not bad or anything, it's just it's one of those things where it's kind of fiddly to do, but there we go. I got it pushed in on the side there, and then just angle these, make that look nice. Straighten out the head, fold these arms down. You're going to, well, pull this up, and then this whole section here, this is kind of weird as well. It kind of lifts up, and then you have to force it up like so. So bring it up and around, something like that. There we go. And then pull it all the way up, just like that. Fold the hands out on both sides. You can fold out the little thumb. Do that as well here. So you can see it's a very similar transformation to what we had with actually Starscream. So getting that there, and then you can like the head was down like this, you can bring it back and you can angle it back just like that. Rotate these wings back around a little bit more. These back sections here, you can fold these back and then rotate these, and then you can tuck them up along his back. It hides, I mean, you can see that they're hidden back here. I just don't particularly like it. It adds extra kibble to them that the actual toy in the cartoon never had. So it's not bad when you're looking at it from the front, and that's where you get these fake dino feet. But for me though, it just, that part right there is the only thing that I think really is deviation from what I would like the actual robot mode to have. Otherwise, I think it looks very good. It's a very nice look to it. This is really long. That's one thing that kind of stands out and looks strange, but it does look really good. And then to complete the look, you can take his missiles if you want to. You can peg that there, bring that on that side, peg that there, and there you have Swoop, or I'm sorry, Airstrike in his robot mode. And in robot mode, this guy has a really nice resemblance to Swoop. The only problems that I guess that I really do have is I wish that this was a little bit shorter, and then his face is just, I mean, it's a gray molded face. I just wish there was more gray in it. As it is, his actual face here seems very tiny. Zooming in to take a look at that, I mean, you can see that he's got a very large head, but his actual facial features are in a very small area. And then For Swoop, I just think it would have been a little bit better if the black around there was red like this, or maybe have his face be a little bit bigger. I'm just not a huge fan of the way that the actual head and the face is done. The sculpt on it, like I said, is terrific. It's just paint-wise, I think it could look a little bit better. That's the only thing that's really thrown me off in terms of the face sculpt. But other than that, I mean, looking at all the detail just coming all the way down the body, you can see that there is some amazing detail all the way throughout it. The chrome really does look great on this, and the paint applications just in general are very well done. I mean, even coming down here to the side, you can see some really nice red paint on the actual outer part of the lower section of the leg. You got some really nice black molded pieces here. Again, you got the gold chrome here for his knees. That does honestly throw me off. It's one of those things where I'm not a huge fan of the fact that they took the actual dino legs and put it in the back. I love the dino legs in the dinosaur mode. They're very nicely articulated and they work perfectly, but the offset, it's just, in robot mode, it gives a weird feel. I don't particularly like how they just hang out there. It kind of throws things off. I don't feel like it's integrated very well. I wish there was a way you could actually hide those a little bit better. I do absolutely love the fact that they thought to include these knee bits here. I think that's a wonderful touch, but I think the trade-off in having very articulated legs that look great in dinosaur mode, in robot mode, just kind of falls short, I feel. I really almost would have preferred if they just left them like this and figure out a way to actually make these a little bit more articulated. I guess that's just a personal preference, but leaving those like that, the figure is kind of big for it. So if you do scale it down, like I was saying, in Dino mode, I feel like he's a little bit bigger than he should be. If you scaled it down, these probably would work a lot better as his actual dinosaur legs. So, I mean, it's a matter of personal preference, I think, but aesthetically, that's the only part that really kind of throws me off. Plus, the really big crest there on his head, that really kind of throws me off as well. Everything else, though, really does look great. His engineering is very similar to what we saw before with the Masterpiece Starscream, and there's a lot of really neat thing that they actually do with it. I love how they actually have the abs kind of tighten in so that it gives it a little bit more of a tapered look there. I think that is wonderful. They incorporated that same design and same transformation from that Masterpiece Starscream and made Airstrike actually use it fairly well. I'm really impressed with how they actually did that. Now for the weapons, you can see he's got a little nub right on here, that on the inside here of his hand, there's a little hole in here. It's a little bit harder to get it into. Again, that just might be because it's a test sample, but again, you can get it in there and you can get him holding that, which I think looks great. If you wanted to, you can remove this. You can remove these, and like I said, you have the actual handgun section with that same little tab right there. You pull it all the way out and that locks it in place, and then you can have him hold that. It's a little bit tricky again to get it to line up because as you're pushing it, as you push it up in, it makes it want to just fall in like that. Personally, I don't really care to use these as handguns. I like leaving them right there. I think that's a little bit more my style and what I want in a Swoop figure. But it overall, I think, works very nicely. For its articulation, the head is very nicely articulated. You get a full range of motion with it. You got that extra hinge there that allows you to you can bring it down like that, and then you can hinge it back to make it look pretty good. I do worry that because of how big this is, if you don't have a tight ball joint there, like you can see right there, it just flops back. Again, test sample, but hopefully that's something that's not indicative on the final release. The shoulders move forward and back. You can see nice ratchet joints on there, so you get some really nice ranges of motion there. They move in and out. This kind of is hindered. You can angle these back a little bit just to get these out of the way, but you can angle them up just like so. That kind of folds that down. It rotates at the upper part of the bicep. He's got two joints here at the elbow, which is always very nice. He does rotate at the wrist, although you could pull it off, but again, test sample, guys, so it does rotate nicely. The fingers are all nicely articulated. I'm trying to see it, they're not individually. The thumb is articulated at the main joint right up here, and then they are articulated here and here, but they're all fused together. So at least, yeah, I think they are. So you got the joint here and you got the joint here, but they're all stuck in this motion. So you're not going to get too much like in terms of a finger pointing pose, but it's still very nice nonetheless. Nothing at the waist. That's just the way that the design is going to be because of the actual locking mechanism here. He rotates forward and back, and then this is another part that's kind of unfortunate. When you rotate the leg, because this is all attached, this whole section comes along with it. And again, that's just a design choice that I think that I personally don't like all that much. It would be a little bit better, I think, if that wasn't there or could tuck away in some way, because when you move it, having that whole section move is kind of a bummer, unfortunately. Rotates at the upper part of the thigh. He bends at the knee, and then the feet, there's some pivot in it. It's not a heck of a lot, but they are on ball joints. You just gotta kind of be a little bit, have a little finesse when you're posing that around. So, I mean, you can get some great poses with him, and in robot mode, I mean, I think he looks very good. These bits right here, they do hide very well from the front. I mean, you don't see them. And I mean, overall, I think it looks really very cool. I do really enjoy it. I just think that there's some design choices that I personally would not have made on this particular character. Now, for some size comparisons, straightening him out so that you can get that over there so that everybody can get a nice good look how they are in robot mode. Here we have the Airstrike, and here you have him next to Scoria and Masterpiece Grimlock. Now, Masterpiece Grimlock does have the platform shoes that Scoria comes with. I just like that because it keeps him tall and the same kind of scale. But as you can see, he is a smaller figure, and again, it works perfectly, but I think he should be a little bit smaller. Like maybe his head should come up to like about here on him. I don't think he really should be this tall, I don't think. I think scale-wise he's very close, just a hair off, or maybe a head off, and that's really not that much. So I'm not even going to criticize it that much because of it, because I think it's a very close comparison, and I really think that Bullsfire did a great job of getting him to scale very nicely, despite the fact that, like I said, these are two totally different companies in comparison to a third different company. And to be totally honest, the more that I look at it, I really shouldn't say that he should be smaller. He really does actually feel like he's the proper size. I said that he should be about a head or so shorter. That's probably not right. Maybe a half a head, but it's not much. But when you come around here to the back, you can actually still store this weapon. One thing that you couldn't really see very well is what it basically does is you got a groove slot here and then up here as well. And then you got these little two sections that stick out. Basically what you do is you put the handle up in this section right here, you bring this up and then just push that in, and it slots in there. Why you would want to do that, I honestly don't know, but the same weapon storage that is available in his Dino mode is also there, and then you just pull that out. So it just tabs in there fairly nicely. One thing that would make me concerned over time is because this is this vac chrome bit thing on here, pushing it in there and forcing that in there may over time wear that chrome out. So just that's something to be aware of. So to transform him back, we're going to just straighten out his fingers. You put his thumbs down, bring that down just like that. Angle the, well, this likes popping off a whole lot more than it did initially. So put that in there and then you angle that in just like so. Do that on this side just like that. These little bits right here, you fold these down. It's kind of weird how it does it. It like clips down and then you have to push it down even more to get it to lock in, and we're just going to straighten that out, just get that out of the way. You don't have to take these off if you don't want to. You can leave them attached there still. You want to separate the chest a little bit, loosen up the actual Dino head, bring that up, and you can bring up his robot head, tuck that in, that locks into place like so. Kind of just angle that back. Take these sections, you're going to rotate these all the way around like so, bringing those back around, get away, there we go, got that all the way around. Take this whole chest section here and you can extend this up. There is a lot, like I said, of die cast in here, but a lot of it is here in the actual back section, so it is there, so you do have a lot of durability in the actual torso area, which is really very nice. I absolutely love that. Fold these little bits down. I wonder if that kind of feels like it's die cast as well. So get this, and this whole section, yeah, it kind of feels like it's die cast, to be honest with you. Fold this bit up just like that, get that tucked underneath, get that tucked underneath just like so. These little bits, you want to straighten these out and then rotate these up, and we're going to just collapse those together on the inside like that. Bring these down, and you angle this, you kind of rotate that on the outside, rotate this around just like so. And one thing that's actually kind of nice, I don't know how well this is going to come across, but right on the inside here, you can kind of see little indentations. On the underside here is a bit of a tab that you bring that up, and you actually, it's kind of hard to do, but you just line that up, and that actually locks that into place. So really nice how they actually thought to have all that tab in there. It's really a very well engineered piece. I really do think. There are some issues that I do have personally. I mean, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I think it's a very solid and well done figure. Get that in there. There we go. And basically you have the whole chest section done. Now get these wings kind of out of the way. I'm going to rotate these around, bringing these around. You can lock these into place if you want to right here. These feet right here, you bring the heels together, and then they have a bit of a sliding part here that you just slide these up. They're on a track kind of in there. Just fold that in just like that. Bring this around. Now getting these out of the way, like I was talking about before, you have a little tab right on here. It's real small, but you can kind of see it there. First, what you want to do, well, first bring these chrome pieces down. You have a little hole section right up here and right here, and all you have to do is bring this up, get the head down, bring this up, put that tab section in there first, make sure this is extended out like that, put that tab section in there, and then push this down. That'll lock that into place very securely. Again, you're going to bring this up, you're going to take that little tab section, you're going to put it inside there, and I am seeing some wear on this piece right here on this chrome section. I honestly think that that's something that may happen over time, but again, this is just a test sample, so I can't really say for sure, but you hardly even notice it, honestly. Bring that up, that tucks in there, push that down, and there we go, and then you have it nicely secure right on the back. So then angle these wings, get that, and as you can see, the wings, or the whole transformation can be done with these wings still attached. You don't have to actually remove them, but it might make it a little bit easier just so things don't flop down. Then bring this down, now lock that into place. They only rotate one way, it really feels like it. No, they go both ways. All right, there we go. Get that, get the wings situated outward, just like so. And here you have the Airstrike back in his Pteranodon mode, and it really does have a very cool look to it. It's a very well engineered figure. I really think that it's very, very well engineered. Utilizing a similar engineering that we've seen before, but it really does work on this. That's one thing that I'm really absolutely impressed with, that they were able to take that design and kind of redo it and put it into a completely different figure. Now, there are some things that I wish, well, you can take this and you can put this back up in his butt if you want to, maybe give it like a little tail looking thing or something. I mean, there are some things that I wish were done a little bit differently with it. But all in all, it's very well done. The quality feels really top notch. I mean, this is a test sample, and I'm really very absolutely impressed with how it has come together. I mean, like I said, the only real issues that I have would be how these dinosaur legs look in his actual robot mode. But in his Dino mode here, I think they look really good on him. It's just, when it comes to his robot mode, it sticks out a little bit for me. I guess the one thing that if I'm looking at it, these lower legs for his robot mode kind of are big, so it looks really bulky here in his Dino mode, but I mean, it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination, I don't think. It's a little awkward looking, especially when you're trying to get his head up there or anything. I mean, because his crest just sticks up there, so it doesn't really hang out too much when he's flying like this. You kind of lose that look, I guess, and it just kind of looks like everything's squatted right up into it. It's a good figure. It really, really is. And for it being the first figure from this company, I'm very impressed. I did not expect a lot. I didn't get my hopes up or anything of that nature. I just kind of went with it and just kind of accepted what I was going to get, and honestly, it really has impressed me. It's really a very good first outing, I think, for these guys. I hope they do stick in the game, because if there are other Dinobots coming out looking like this, I really think that they'll have a place. And I really do love how we're getting multiple companies making these. Some people have joked, it's like, oh, we got too many people making them. I personally like it because it gives you options. you can decide what aesthetic you like. Now granted, this is done in the G1 cartoon sort of look, where he had the gold here for his beak and he had the blue on his body. I don't know if they're going to be doing a G1 toy look, but like I said, there are options out there for you. This really came out a lot better than I expected it to, and I think a lot of collectors will be happy with what they're getting in this guy. So if you are interested in picking Airstrike up, all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store, and you can pick this guy up and add him to your collection just as soon as he comes in stock. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been OPTIBOTIMUS. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/TeamBotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/OPTIBOTIMUS. Also, I'd encourage you to check out my new website at OPTIBOTIMUSreviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, see what I have coming up for future release, and even get your very own OPTIBOTIMUS t-shirt. And finally, I'd also really appreciate it that if you like this review, don't forget to please like, comment, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.